Recording. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our rescheduled community call. We were supposed to have one the 1st of April. Sorry we had to reschedule last minute, but today is the 8th of April, and we're excited to have our community call today. I have Miguel with me and Jesse, and let's get right to it. So, today we have about quite a few things on the agenda. First, we're going to dive into updating you all on Effect Alpha. Then we'll go over the active projects we have right now. Then we'll dive into a lot of our platform improvements that we're working on. Give updates about our API and external task postings. Uh, Touch on still what's next, and then we'll open it up for questions from you guys. If you have a question while we're doing this, pop it in the sidebar chat, and we'll make sure that we get a hold of it. So, our alpha update. Miguel, would you like to start sharing some of the updates we have with Effect Alpha?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I guess I'll start with some of the kind of achievements that we've done over the last month and a little bit since the last call. I wanted to just give some of the achievements here. So far, we've actually the payout or the total current payout that we've paid out is already over 750,000 effect. So we're getting pretty close to reaching that magic number of a million, which is pretty cool. And we're almost at 300,000 tasks completed. So the workers are doing an amazing job, and I just want to give a shout out to them as we always do, just to point that out there. And also goes to show you how um, we've been trying to kind of stress test the platform as we go, and seeing these huge numbers and what the platform can actually do is really cool. So it'd be really cool to see if we can get to a million by maybe next call or in the next couple months. A really cool number. But some of the really interesting things that we've added since the last call was we're currently adding new templates and adding data sets to test out on the platform. Some of which are the really interesting ones, is the new image classification data set. And that's, we've been testing out a kind of image annotation with bounding boxes template that we created, and so far it's been really nice. I wish we had a couple of workers in here to maybe give some of their um, their advice on how it's been with working with the template. But what we've seen so far, they're really enjoying the template, and it's been working pretty good, and just brings another kind of like or task type onto the platform that we can use to then use when we have clients to use the platform that's already there and ready to go. So that's one thing. Another thing that we've added is in terms of some worker experience, we added a task poster status component to the worker UI, which actually gives the workers now the ability to see when the tasks are queued and if they're active and they're live or if they're coming soon. So it really helps the workers kind of get a better sense of when tasks are coming and to kind of get ready for that instead of just guessing or waiting to see if we post something in the Discord. Another thing we've also added in the back end that also helps the workers, but also helps us, is a scheduling system. So this scheduling system actually allows us to, well, us now and also requesters in the future, to use the scheduling system to actually just pre-schedule tasks. So in the past, we've kind of just manually been posting tasks as need be. But with the scheduling system, now we can kind of just schedule whenever. So we can schedule for certain dates, certain times, and it should be automated now. So we've been testing that out a little bit, looking like it's working really good. So it's another great improvement to the kind of back end of the of the alpha network there. In terms of the new data sets that we've added, we've also added the novella data set that we've been testing out. So we did have a few instances where in the common voice data set, with workers having to create sentences on their own, we know that after each worker kind of goes over maybe 1,000, 2,000, couple thousand sentences created, you get kind of fatigued in terms of even just creativity. So we saw the kind of the result quality go down a bit, and to mitigate that, we don't want poor quality on the data set. So to mitigate that, we've implemented just a new data set for the time being, which is the novella data set. And this one is already a predetermined data set of sentences from random novellas on TV or something that are open to be publicly used. And we're using that to create like a recording data set for the novella sentences. So we're still kind of doing the common voice type sentences, but instead of the users creating the sentences themselves, we actually have already pre-done data set of sentences. So hopefully that'll help with some of the result quality. But yeah, that's a few things for what we've added so far into the alpha testing platform here. I think what is the next slide, Rochelle? I
Uh,
might have skipped the slide though.
the revisions in compensation. But one thing I wanted to touch on with the updated task schedule is since we don't have like a push notification thing, to let people know when there's tasks on, this kind of helps everyone know, okay, they're going to be tasks at this time, on this weekday. So it kind of helps workers, know when to, you know, spend their time connecting to the node and checking on tasks. And then also on our end, it lets Miguel and I make sure we are completely available for support, while active tasks are running. Um, that way we can help you guys when you get tech issues or should a bug arise or anything. So I'm really liking this new schedule that we have.
Yeah, and I think we also posted that we've already kind of chosen a couple of days for the schedule. We're still playing around with it, but as of right now, we're going to be trying to schedule stuff on Mondays and Thursdays to kind of give us some time in between to either fix up any issues or anything like that. And we're also going to try to do two different times during those days to encompass, all of the different times that everyone's kind of awake and all the time zones. So I think Mondays at two different times and Thursdays at two different times is what we're going to try, and then we can kind of move it around just to test and see what the best times and dates are for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I think our next slide. Yes. So um, we had a big feedback session as far as the tasks and um, what they paid, what they involved, how easy they were to complete. People provided feedback, about okay, after an hour of just coming up with sentences on my head and not trying to sound repetitive, it's just grueling and things like that. And I don't know how some of you guys sat there for 6 hours at a time, you know, doing some of these tasks and stuff. Kudos to you guys. But we realized by taking a big deep dive in the quality we got from the sentences and figuring out, you know, what things, when things changed from worker to worker as far as quality and time completion, we realized that, okay, the sentence generation, it's just not working. Um, it's not a pleasant quick task for everyone to sit and do for an hour or more at a time. It gets tedious, and you know, we want people to enjoy their time while they're doing tasks on the platform. So we came up with, like Miguel said, you know, a novella data set of sentences that were already created that are out there in the public domain. And so we figure, okay, um, you know, the pricing that we were paying for to create the sentences, it just, there was a lot of difference between, you know, what we could pay in our budget and what, you know, workers and alpha testers, you know, wanted to see. And, you know, we took a lot of review time and a huge feedback session and, you know, came up with, okay, those generation tests, those aren't the best for the alpha testers. And so we changed it around. We have these new type of tests, and they start out by just validating, does it work for, you know, what we need for common voice, does it fit as far as you know, no full first and last names, you know, numbers, you know, foreign words, that kind of thing. So um, it's easier, they're easier to complete because it's really apparent to quickly tell, does this match or not for what it needs. So, you know, we can have the task take less time for the worker, you know, and adjust the reward. That also still fits with the budgeting because we do have budgeting for, you know, every phase of alpha and stuff. So we think we came up with a good balance right now. Um, and then now we can pay, you know, more for tasks that, you know, have added complexity and stuff, if now that we have like the simple tasks figured out. So we're constantly reviewing, you know, the time it takes someone to complete, you know, how many they do in a session, you know, what the actual skills are that are involved for those tasks and things. And a lot of that, it, it's something that I spend quite a lot of time on, and the rest of my team, making sure it's where we need to be and productive, you know, for what we're doing. And so a lot of that aligns in with the next slide, which is worker growth, um, and scaling the workforce. So I'm very happy that we had that huge feedback session. I know some of you got, you know, removed from the common voice test when this stuff started, and in support tickets I told you guys, don't worry, because we've eliminated those tasks, so you didn't lose anything. This is part of alpha testing, is figuring out worker pools, figuring out groups of workers that have certain skills and matching those to, you know, task flows and things. So, you know, nobody really got, you know, banned or lost anything. It was part of our testing. We are still, I still value each and every one of you. So does the rest of my team. And, you know, it's a lot of working the kinks out. And, you know, you guys are the very beginning, the foundation of this cool platform. And, you know, what you're doing matters. And we're trying to incentivize you guys appropriately. And so, yeah, I hope this makes sense. But yes, so adding more workers. I had all kinds of plans to add more workers, and then we had a technical issue. So it put a kibosh on the latest group of, I think, 8 or 10 of you guys, that I'm going to give codes to. You know, for me, I don't want to onboard someone, be like, here's a code, you're all excited to jump on the platform, and then, hey, guess what? We're not running tasks because this thing is broken or that thing is broken. So I try to onboard when things are stable. So that'll be happening soon. Um, but yeah, we're I'm finding so many of you guys have so many talents, and it's really exciting to, you know, see what capabilities you get on the platform, and then, you know, reviewing the task results and stuff. It's awesome. And these novella ones, they're very entertaining to listen to the audio samples. Did you have anything else you wanted to weigh in on this part, Miguel?
I think. Oh, actually, no. I did. You reminded me we were talking about some of the issues that we were having.
Oh yeah.
I did forget to mention. So yeah, one of the things that we kind of saw happen was our, and I think Jesse can pitch on this too, is the IPFS server that we were using for a lot of the recording tasks, audio, went, or we, what happened, Jesse? It was, I think we filled up on storage or something, and we decided to also update the IPFS, and at the same time as updating, as technical things happen and implementation of updates happen, there's new criteria that kind of comes out of that. So we're kind of messing around with trying to reconfigure the new IPFS server update to everything, and had some technical issues there. I'm not sure if Jesse's
Yeah.
gonna have to chime in on a little bit on that.
True. Yeah. No, that's worth to mention. But I agree. I think Rochelle just said it nicely that the best moment to onboard more people in the workforce is when things are stable and there's new things to try. And we did have a couple of glitches and issues we ran into technically. We covered a bunch of it in the call, but um, to highlight the one that Miguel just mentioned is we use IPFS, Interplanetary File System. It's this decentralized storage method for basically storing files, and we've used this for ages. We've I think have like a project run IPFS node running already since I don't know before the start of the DAO. So that's for over like 4 years already without any issues. But I think somewhere last week it just gave up. So there was some issues with like the peer-to-peer network flooding our node with tons and tons of requests and connections, and just filling up the disk space with like unnecessary files that people were propagating. So it was kind of a technical issue. Took us a little while to fix. It was an excellent time to kind of clean up our IPFS node, make backups of all the files there, as of course they're, even though IPFS is by nature decentralized, it does not automatically like propagate and back up your files unless specific people ask to do so. And at the moment, the project-owned node is kind of the canonical node that has all the data there, but we're not 100% sure how many other nodes are syncing and backing up our files. So just to be sure, we made like a proper backup. We updated the whole server, did some maintenance. So now we're running like the latest version, and we're still storing files for all the workers and all the tasks that are currently running. They're on there. We're not expecting any more issues with this node, but the storage part of the network is a very interesting component. I guess we're gonna dive into this in a little bit as well. But obviously, when we work with AI data and these annotations, the storage of both the tasks and the results is a very crucial component. And IPFS is currently what we use for this. It has some nice properties like the content addressability and some other parts that make it very useful. We do have the long-term vision, like in the white paper, where the storage layer has to be sort of incorporated in the network, and I think we'll touch on that. But yeah, anyway, it was worthwhile to mention that our solid and trusted server that hasn't had an issue in 5 years suddenly gave up. I haven't really found the issue, what happened, but I kind of suspect it might be some AI usage of IPFS suddenly. It's like some agents that are connecting and propagating more files. It's been there wasn't that much activity on the network until recently.
Yeah, I think it's becoming just in general kind of a headache and an issue just with the general population of the internet, with all the agents roaming around and pinging all the servers and trying to scrape all the websites and everything. So I don't think we're the only ones that
Exactly,
have
yeah.
these types of issues.
They're consuming a lot.
Yeah.
Data, producing a lot of data, and it's becoming a bit of a strain on all the people that have to consume this, but also on the servers that are running that are not designed for these types of quantities of requests. So yeah, it's
Yeah, for sure.
indeed a bigger problem that's going on in the tech.
Also, thanks to the workers that kind of really quick to point out when stuff breaks and it's not working. So I want to give a little shout out to everyone that kind of helped us along the way with figuring out that there was a problem and kind of what was happening. I mean, that's exactly what the alpha testing is all about. So we commend those people, and we definitely encourage everyone else that's on the platform and working, using it to let us know what the issues you may be having. And also, just wanted to bring up, we are working on changing up a little bit the skip task button to incorporate maybe like a little message box or something that you can type in to give us better feedback on when you have to skip a task for whether or not the task isn't working or anything. So that's going to be coming up in a later update sometime soon. Just wanted to bring that up.
Yes, on the worker side, that I know that's gonna be helpful if you can. Okay, I'm skipping this task. Why? Because this is not working, and then you can keep going on to the next tasks instead of having to stop, pull open your Discord, app, and sending us a message. Hey, this stuff's not working right. Because you're still connected to the node, you're still working on tasks and stuff. So hopefully, that'll be a better use of your time too, being able to notify us of something wrong, like right there. So, but yes, I want to have a couple more batches of tasks run without issue with this weird IPSF or IPFS stuff. I always transpose the last two letters. Before I onboard, I think about 8 to 12 people I have next up on the thing. So if you are listening to this live right now or in the replay, if you filled out the thing and you haven't gotten a code, open the support ticket, be like, hey, Rochelle, I'm still waiting, so I can make sure that I get you. Because for some reason, sometimes when you fill that out, it's not matching to a Discord name in our server when I go give you the role and give you a code. So please just pipe up. Ping me in the main chat or start a support ticket, whatever. I am here for you. And on to the next slide, which is our what? Are we on active projects? Are we touching on that?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
active projects.
here we go. Active projects. Let's see. Lots of things on here.
Perfect.
I will touch this alpha help portal. It is still the worker docs. I am very proud of that. It is 100% done, and except for the bounding box tasks, I am in process of adding how tos on those and screenshots and everything and help with that. So it says 100%, but now I got to update it with these new tasks. So, but yes, take it away, guys.
Well, actually, before
Cool.
we continue
Go
with the
ahead,
next thing,
Emil.
I just wanted to mention we did also have a nice little update to the website that we added just recently. The last, I think it was yesterday or a couple of days ago. We now have, instead of our little carousel for the blogs at the bottom of the site, we've actually added it's the blog's own new like blog page or news page. So now if you go to the website, there will be on the header you can click on news and you can see the blogs and a much nicer page there. And we're going to be in a couple more improvements and changes to the site and the blog pages as well. So stay tuned for that. I think we might also add or post like a little tweet or something. Oh, as well as actually a new blog came out. That's also an important part. We, on top of the call today, we also have kind of a tech or dev update for March, and it's posted. Actually, I'll post it in the chat here so you guys can see. I'm also going to post a little tweet about that as well. So kind of we've touched upon most of that in this call, but if you want to go read more about it or refresh your memory in a later time, then by all means, go there and check it out.
And if you're in this call listening or listening to the replay before Friday, you're learning about this now before Friday's tweet, which is about the new blog.
There you go. It's the insider information on the updates. Sorry, Jesse, you can take it away.
Nice, yeah. Of course, the blog I think contains a lot of details on what happened, so it's a good resource to read on all the technical updates that happened. Yeah, just think for this slide, I can maybe just give a quick update on like the progress on the larger projects going on here. I think the primary one that's worth talking about is the state synchronization. Discussed at the time, but at the moment the implementation is actually finished. We had a bit of an extensive testing period for this one, as we encountered quite some issues deploying this and some nuance in the how it works in production, especially when people have a lot of payments that they have in history that we need to synchronize across like the network nodes. Because just to repeat for a bit of context, the state synchronization is a first iteration of a storage layer, which means that you guys can hear me, right? Just a second, sir.
I think your mic is switching from the main to I think your.
Yeah, okay. Nothing.
It's swapped a couple times. It's going strong for a little bit there.
I know, right? I think. Do you hear me now, Mika?
Yeah. Okay. It might be coming from the headset, I think, not the main.
Wait, something went wrong on my microphone setup.
Yeah, I think it's good now.
One second. I'm just gonna refresh.
Well, while Jesse refreshes, I'll give you the layman's term on what state synchronization, aka multi device, is. If any of you guys have Netflix or any other streaming service, you know how if you have it up on one device and you pause or exit a show, you can pull it up on another device and it'll take you right back to where you were with all the same info. In layman's terms, that's what it is. So if I have my worker account on my laptop and my phone, everything, all my progress will show the same on both. That's the layman's one. And let's see if Jesse's fixed his microphone so he can tell you the technical term.
Okay, I'll try again. It's working now, and I'll see if it's.
Right, you sound good now.
Yeah, so hopefully it keeps working. Sorry. I'll just continue where I dropped off, but feel free to interrupt if you guys if it doesn't connect.
Yep.
So the state synchronization, we had some issues where if there's people with like a lot of payments in history that need to be synchronized through our nodes, and then we want to make sure that whenever you connect through your phone or your desktop or different devices that are connected to the same account, that you basically load in the payment history and that you can seamlessly switch between them, which isn't the case right now. So anyways, we finished this part. So this feature is now, I think it's gonna get deployed today, which means that once deployed, I think it's switching my microphone again, which is not.
It was a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna try to continue. Discord is so weird. Apologies. This has been happening to me for a long time. Hopefully I can return this call. So yeah, this one is gonna get deployed today, and then we should, that feature should be working. We do gonna advise everyone to be cautious. Do try to claim your payments often, just in case, as it's a very crucial component. And like if you wouldn't claim payments for a very long time and switch devices, it's a scenario that we're testing currently. But yeah, this is a very important and quite complicated feature that we're rolling out. So yeah, there's some coaching advice with for the people that are actively working right now in the alpha to claim often and keep an eye out on any issues they encounter.
Maybe just
But in any case, it's going to be an important feature to also avoid loss of funds, as currently there is quite some hazard when you switch devices on potentially losing some of your earnings.
I think just because we don't have too many of the workers in the call, maybe we'll also gonna send out like a cautionary message to let them know, and maybe even post it like tomorrow or something, the update, just to give people a chance to claim, just in case, you know, something happens we don't expect, and we don't want people to lose their claim defect already.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like things won't go wrong if they continue working like they do now, but just when like I think there are some specific points we want to pay attention to. So yeah, definitely good idea, Miguel, to coordinate a message after deploying, so we can specifically look at switching of devices and claiming across different devices and see how that goes in some scenarios.
Definitely an exciting update.
Yeah, it's a really exciting update. Yeah,
Like it's something
definitely
everyone's
gonna
been
help
looking
us
forward to for a while.
with the
And
support. Yeah, exactly.
I think it'll eliminate a lot of support tickets too. I got this. I can't find it. Well, you got to log in on your one device that you had it on. Yeah, I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to that.
Yeah.
Do we want to touch also on was it the provider API or any of the other ones?
Yes. Yes, I'm still here. Okay, great. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So the state synchronization is indeed the main one now. Like that's gonna get deployed. We've also been making some progress on the other projects running. Provider API is a big one, of course, where the goal of the provider API is to give external companies easy access to the network. So being able to post from the state synchronization to this feature, which we want to finish as soon as possible, especially as we have some tasks running that would like that could really use this feature, like the ODS lyric tasks and some others. Next to the opportunity it brings on onboarding more external projects and companies and giving them access so they can post tasks themselves. So yeah, this one is one of the more important ones that we currently focus on.
And it allows
And
more hands off with companies or projects when we want to onboard them or help them through. We don't have to hold their hand the whole time. They can kind of point them to the API and show them how to use it, or have the docs available, and then they can kind of just go and do it themselves.
exactly, a lot of these things indeed are also there to free up more of our time as things are getting more solid. Yeah, it can evolve and be more self-managed on the provider side. Then I will yeah, like move on to the other updates there. Definitely want to chat quickly about the AI workers. It's like a feature, very I think a very important feature, and I think it's really starting to shape up like kind of the future of where this network is going and how we fit into the industry now. And in first iteration, the AI workers, they are basically workers on the network that are governed by an LLM. And how they were implemented, they're actually already in the code base, but they are just basically you spin them up on the CLI. They can get capabilities and an identity on the network. And at the moment, how they run is they are just simple, infinite loop servers that when they get a task assigned by the network, they will pass that onto an LLM along with the HTML template. The LLM figures it out, and whatever comes out as structured JSON gets posted back to the network, which is the kind of a simple, straightforward way to approach it. But one thing that we've been integrating and looking at now is that it actually fits really well with like more of an agentic workflow, where instead of having this infinite server looping, it might actually at this point be more beneficial, as that's where the users are, to kind of integrate this with agents that are currently deployed already. Like think about like, for example, OpenClaw, bots like that, they have already a high degree of autonomy, and it would actually make sense to kind of have them get assigned tasks and basically perform tasks on the network, which would give us a really like a bigger deployment surface, and it just makes sense to have that higher integration instead of having this burden where you have to configure and host it yourself. So yeah, AI workers, I think is just the industry is moving so fast, and I do think that there is a really high compatibility surface with how agents are currently being deployed and how they can integrate into the network that we currently have by basically executing tasks with the capabilities they have as AI agents. So yeah, this is kind of evolving as we speak, from being more like straightforward these infinite loop just LLMs to being integrated with existing agents, and existing agents can simply install a skill that allows them to register on the network, get assigned tasks, and when they get a task to basically reply, either accept it or reject it. And if they accept it, they would of course be bound to execute it with the capabilities they have. So I just wanted to kind of shine a light on what's developing there, what's brewing there, and also that this the scope of this AI workers got increased a little bit to allow us to experiment with this integration. I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's opening up a ton of possibilities that are really interesting to work with.
Yeah, I'm definitely very excited for those two.
Yeah.
One myself.
And then let's see, I can just wrap up the other projects as well, just in a very brief update. So ZKP workers are related to AI workers in the sense they're also like automated autonomous machines that are doing tasks specifically meant for them, but they're meant to upload a lot of the zero knowledge proof generation that's currently happening on the manager nodes in our network to worker nodes. And the primary reason is that it's just the network is supposed to scale horizontally, so we should be able to add more and more workers to the network. And at the moment, the resources required to do zero knowledge proofs, and each worker needs to do frequent zero knowledge proofs in order to get paid and for some other functionalities. So it doesn't scale if the managers have to do all this computational work that basically they won't be able to provide enough compute for all the workers to do their ZKPs. So we want to upload the ZKPs to the workers, which is it's kind of, I think, architecturally a really pretty way to implement this, as it's just once this is finished, we'll be able to add a lot of ZKP workers to the network. These are a bit more heavy boxes where they can proxy compute to, for example, networks like Nasana to do the ZKP, and they would get paid a little bit in effect for doing these proofs. And this scales horizontally as well. So there is no more issues with the managers getting getting exhausted on compute. It's quite an important one. It's already with our current worker load. There is often like some issues where the manager gets compute bound, like exhausted. So we want to do releases quite soonish. But I think strategically our focus will first be on the provider API, and once that's finished, we're gonna like put the focus on the ZKP worker part. And in the meantime, we might actually like while we do AI workers, we're already having a bit of overlap there. So this one is slowly progressing. I think that wraps it up. Like the advanced audio task, we covered it earlier. Miguel already talked a bit about this, and it's already been deployed and running. They're great, so it's nice to have this task variety. But yeah, this covers the project updates. Did I miss anything, guys, that we needed to discuss?
No, I think you covered. Yeah, I think we've covered a lot of what we wanted to cover already. Yeah. We spoke about the multi-device functionality, the improved user experiences. We're always still working on those as we go along. I know, as I mentioned before, the addition to the worker UI for the task posting status was added as one of the bigger user experience additions this this time between the calls, and we're constantly just we keep looking for more ways to improve the experience there, and as we get workers kind of giving us their insight on the platform, adding stuff. I think we can go to the next slide. I think the final slide, Rochelle. And yeah, they like it. And then I'm not sure how else that's going to play a part, Jesse. Maybe you can touch on that a little bit, but I think that's going to be really cool.
Like you said, yeah. Like you said, it's indeed like an extra little convenience for people to use the network. Like the API has two layers. The first will be like where a provider is connected to the peer-to-peer network. It has like pools of tokens that can be used to pay for tasks, and then it has to settle this basically in the network in peer-to-peer fashion. But it's not really very like it's not very easy to use, especially getting your hands on the tokens and running software and everything. It's not really the surface that most providers interact with. So what we like the second layer on top of that is sort of a gateway where providers get API access, and it will be quite easy to post tasks. And indeed, credits are basically a system to represent some allowance of tokens that is attached to individual accounts that people can use to post tasks and all of that. So it's that sort of a centralized gateway that gives people straight access to posting tasks. And I think that covers it, and it's part of the same project that I described in the previous part that we're currently working on.
Yeah. Nice.
Checking what else we got here on the roadmap that we haven't touched on. I think most of it is should be quite clear.
Yeah, I know the effect dataset portal where that's kind of up and running a little bit already, but we're adding to it, and once we get it to a nice full spot, the idea is to have, I think, our own space where we can host our data sets that we create in the platform, and even host other data sets created on the platform, even from partners if they allow, and the idea in the future. That's a little bit on that. The capability system, we've spoken about that numerous times in the past. We're also planning on adding some new capabilities as we go. I know the Novella data set, we're planning on adding some capabilities there for those that got some of the capabilities revoked from the common voice tasks. We are still using the common voice capabilities for the Novella dataset, as it's very similar, but we're going to create some new capabilities there just so um, we can get those workers back and working on all the steps for the Novella dataset. And then yeah, down the line we have a couple things in play, but I think for the time being we're focused definitely on more the active projects, getting all that up and running and set. And yeah. Oh, we got a question from Alan. Does this project ever finish, or will it continue to evolve? I think the question for most projects is it never really ends up finishing because as the world evolves and the industry evolves and everything. I mean, you can the exact example is just AI coming into the scene and all the LLMs and agents um, coming into play. And I don't think many people really saw that coming and how hard it came into the industry and how much it's changed a lot of industries already. So I think there's always areas to evolve in and grow. And I mean, we're still uh, we're not at the finish line yet, but we're still growing and evolving, especially with how everything is evolving in the industry now. I think there's always room to improve and evolve.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, answer would be no. Uh, but indeed, yeah, I think most projects never finish. It's the world is evolving and there always the new directions to follow, and which is a
Yeah.
good thing.
Alan also said, when will the project be in a position to attract other projects? I think definitely once we get, and just you can chime in on this after too. Um, Once we have the obviously state synchronization is going to be a huge thing for the workers to get them set up to be a bit more efficient in terms of being able to kind of work from anywhere, any device, and irons out a lot of the kinks there on the worker side. But also the provider API I think is really important. We're just getting an integration with the project that an outside source can work with instead of us kind of having to onboard projects, put their hand through everything is going to be really important. As well as ironing out a couple more of the small little kinks in the platform itself with the workers and how everything's set up. I think we're really, really close though. And there are, yeah, I think we're close. Do see any addition to that?
No, no, well said.
And we
Well
do
said. I
we do
was
also
just reading DJ's OpenClaw subscription idea there. I think it's a pretty cool notion there. That indeed, where these subscriptions are heavily subsidized when you get a 200 a month, like OpenClaw LLM subscription, then you're often so heavily subsidized that you might be able to make money running tasks on effect using your agent, which is indeed cool possible
oh
possible use
yeah,
case.
that's a very cool idea too. I just want to add also onto the answer of the project being in a position to attract other projects. We do like we already have a plan, and we're building more of a plan to then once we're ready to hit the ground running and go and source out some partnerships, and we're already talking to different people and people in industries and projects and companies and stuff. So we are once we have our foot in the door there, then sorry, once the provider API is kind of done or that integration is complete, then we should have our foot in the door in some places.
Yeah.
Definitely not. Can't say that.
Is my microphone working now? You guys hear me?
Your
Very,
mic's a
very
little muffled.
muffled. Yeah.
How about now?
A little bit muffled. Is it covering the mic?
How about now?
Still a little muffled.
How about
It
now?
is working perfectly before.
I feel
Oh,
like I'm in a Verizon commercial.
I think it's better.
Did better.
It's better. Okay.
What did you want to add, Rochelle?
Oh, I think I have been like auto muted
Oh, but
for a while because of that. But no, I
we
didn't
can't
have
we
any.
can't hear you again, Rochelle. Discord's taking another person. The mic.
Why is this happening to me?
You try switching mics and or leave and come back. Also, DJ, I think that's a cool idea. The niche that allowing agents to simultaneously have access to other AI agents and to build something ad hoc. Yeah, it'd be really nice to be kind of that place where
Testing. 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 Testing.
right away because our workers, since we have everyone kind of all around the world, it's really easy to post a task and kind of get anyone on at whatever given time, and there's always workers on and ready to work, so they get their answers right away, and that'd be a really good integration.
Let's try this again.
There you go. I hear you.
I apologize. No. Yeah, I'm just waiting for a little bit of stability over the next couple, batches of tasks and stuff to get more people on. That's all.
Yeah,
That's
for
all I
sure.
wanted to add. Yeah. But overall, I think we're progressing nicely, and kudos to my team for being nimble and very flexible when things like the IPFS stuff pops up and whatnot. Yeah, it seems like we get kicked a lot with little things that pop up. Um, However, that is alpha testing, so
It's all part of the development.
it is. It
It
is.
was meant to break.
At least this
Yeah,
time
DJ,
it.
I like all these ideas are really good. I've thought of a bunch of these too, and um, I know given the kind of the worker expertise, we can do a lot. A lot of it is then just trying to find workers with the capabilities necessary for these things. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we can do after. Supposedly, the latest Claude Mythos is very good at finding vulnerabilities. Yeah, I did see that actually. I think they have it set out to not only internal testing, but I think they have a bunch of pen testers and companies like Amazon and Nvidia and Apple and stuff that are testing it out right now. But yeah, it's pretty interesting to hear about the new Claude model. I know it's found vulnerabilities in a lot of like key infrastructure for a lot of companies. So it's both cool, interesting, and scary at the same time. But yeah, I think that kind of wraps most of the things up. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to add, Michelle, Jesse?
No, I think we covered everything we set out to cover today.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's it. Good content. We covered indeed the agenda. I think we covered all the questions.
Yeah, actually made
Thanks,
good time
guys.
too.
For once.
I think Alan's typing. Awesome. Of course.
Okay, well,
Again,
that is a wrap.
yeah, like always, we have it recorded, and we'll be posting the recording after for everyone that missed it. I know we did have to change the time quite late from last week, so maybe some people couldn't make it, but we're planning to make it. But yeah, we'll have it recorded and posted onto YouTube with all the notes, probably in the next day or two. Sometimes it takes a bit longer.
Well, thank you everyone for joining in with us, and thank you Miguel and Jesse for having a nice call with me again.
Yeah, of course.
Likewise. Thanks for time. Till next
Awesome.
time, guys.
Till next
All right.
time.
Have a great day,
Bye.
guys. Ciao. Bye.